Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to change out the brake fluid on your motorcycle from your hydraulic brakes. As you can see right here, this is your front brake reservoir, and the fluid in there is a little bit dark. I do this every oil change that I do on my bike. We're going to do this on my DRZ Supermoto, but the procedure is the same on pretty much all bikes. And if you do this often enough, you would not have to bleed your brakes every single time. So I do it every 3,000 miles or so when I do my oil change. So you can see that the fluid is a little dark, but it's not black. So there's only a handful of tools that you would need. Actually, there's only one that you would need to do this. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to need some new brake fluid. I am using Preston DOT4. That's what is used in motorcycles. The difference between the DOT3 and the DOT4 is the boiling temperature of the fluid, and on most bikes it will say on the cover right here what fluid you want to use, and for most bikes it is DOT4. So you cannot substitute DOT3 when it requires DOT4. So let's go ahead and open it up. I'm going to use my Phillips head screwdriver and open these two screws that are on top. What you also want to do is maybe take a rag and just cover, put it around the reservoir, because the brake fluid eats up paint, so you want to try to avoid any contact with any painted materials on your bike. You have to be careful when you're opening these. Sometimes they're very easy to strip the heads. I'll go ahead and open that. Just like that. It's very simple to do. Put the screws on the side. And very carefully, try to pry this cover off. And there you go. Starting to come out. And there's usually a rubber kind of like a seal in there, so if it does not come off with the cover like this, you'll have to just take it off carefully. Now once I have that off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wipe off the old fluid from the cover, set it down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a syringe. You can buy one of these at Walmart, and suck out the old fluid from the reservoir. Try to get as much as I can. Okay, got all the fluid out, at least most of it. You got to be careful not to drip the fluid on any painted materials. Like I said, I'm going to dump this in my oil can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my rag and just put it in the reservoir and suck out any extra fluid that's hiding on the bottom. What you have to be careful about is, at this point, you want to make sure that you're not going to press your brake lever right here, because if you do, that's going to suck in air into the system and you're going to have to bleed the whole system out. So once that's all cleared out, I'm going to take my new fluid right here and start pouring it in. And you have a side glass right here that's going to tell you how much fluid you want to put in. I usually do not like to put the fluid all the way to the top, because you do want some place in the glass, a little bit of empty space in the glass. So once you have the new fluid in, all you have to do is just take the cap for the reservoir, put it back on, and tighten in your screws, and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and do that. Obviously you want to alternate before tightening them completely. That should do it. Take your rag, wipe off any extra fluid that may have come out, and that's pretty much it. Now if you look at the side glass, you're going to see that the fluid is nice and clear. Give your brake a few pumps and you're good to go. So like I said, if you do this often enough, like me, every oil change, your fluid is always going to be clear in there and it's going to be nice and clean. And you won't have to bleed your system every single time you do your brake fluid change. Thanks for watching.